brother sibling movie.
Mayor has something to say to the audience.
Evan and I have just spent, and wait, I shit you not, hang on. We have just spent.
This was full when we started.
We have just spent about an hour.
Oh no.
Almost!
Oh no.
We have spent about 45 human Earth minutes trying to get our audio to talk and work. At this point, I'm like, the movie we're talking about this week, I'm like, fuck it. You know, we can just,
I forgot what we were talking about.
I forgot what we were talking about. I was so annoyed at the whole everything situation that at this point I'm just like, what's the point? You know?
What is movie? You know? Really?
I don't know what movie is.
How is movie? What is movie? How is person people? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good one. You missed a really quality burp earlier when you couldn't hear me for the fourth fucking time. I know.
This
well,
was
here's
full when I started.
This was cold when I started. I spent a lot of time.
Pretty cold.
It's still pretty cold, but I also spent a lot of the time, a lot of that last 45 minutes to an hour, yelling loudly, which does stop
which was
vibing.
Which was at first quite amusing to me because I just, like silent film star cursing into the ether, I saw Mare as if a Charlie Chaplin-esque person was just screaming expletives. That's what I got to experience for the first 20 minutes of our conversation, we'll call it.
Yeah, our one-sided pantomime fuck around.
Oh, and now that you can't hear yourself, you probably can't hear the buzzing in your microphone, can you?
Oh,
it's not buzzing.
I fucking can.
Okay.
It's not buzzing anymore, though, right?
Mm-mm.
You haven't. It's not. Okay, good. It's not buzzing for me either.
It's unbuzzed.
But this little cunt piece of shit motherfucking cocksucker.
Mare,
just
children might listen to this podcast.
What children are listening to this podcast?
Children, get out of here! Get out of the podcast! You're not invited. Go.
No.
You're not supposed to be here. This is adult time. Adults want to swear and use words like cunt and shitbag and
Auntie loves you. Auntie loves you, but you gotta get the fuck out of here, okay? Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking Christ. Alright, man.
You wanna talk Matilda?
Let's fucking grip it and rip it. Let's go.
You wanna go waltzing Matilda?
I would love nothing more than to talk about this fucking movie.
Okay, wait, quick question. Okay, I know I started us off to talk about Matilda, but one thing, I've been listening to a lot of really insane, like religious history, like podcast stuff, like professorial lectures on like religious so like my brain is in a totally different space than Matilda. I can get back into it. I recorded my thoughts. I watched it like last week. I'm gonna get back into Danny DeVito's seminal 1995 masterpiece, maybe Matilda, and it's gonna be great. 6. 6.
96.
6.
96.
This is 6. This is 6. This is 2 3s. Wow. Is this like aliens scissoring?
I just watched.
They call this forking.
Forking. watched wait, so you've been deep in religious history. I just
And
watched
geopolitics. It's a whole. I'll send you this guy. He's really interesting.
please do because I'm so there for it. You know what I just watched?
What?
Chernobyl.
Oh, that's really good and super different than Matilda.
It's the one thing I would say, and here's my
Hot
comparison
take.
hill I will
Mhm.
die on.
Okay.
Both Matilda and Chernobyl are
Okay.
about systemic failures that hurt people.
Whoa. I never would have made that connection, but I think you're totally right. See, you got to get systems in place if you're going to run a society, a culture, whether it is the biggest landmass country in the world or a
Or
nuclear family in New
doesn't matter.
Jersey.
Doesn't matter. We gotta have systems that serve the interests of those involved,
True.
and that
Yes.
don't lead to massive amounts of harm. Um,
Like nuclear radiation. Have you
yeah,
read?
just
So,
no. I was thinking about as I was watching Chernobyl, and I know that's not what this podcast is about, but as I was watching Chernobyl, I did keep thinking of the whole time I was watching it, I was like, it's still dangerously irradiated. It is going to continue being dangerously irradiated for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Are you
yeah.
fucking kidding me? Graphite rods? That's the fucking reason? Sorry.
The one good thing that might come out of it is if we got actual fish that looked like the cool Simpsons three-eyed fish
Yeah, the
that come
three-eyed
out of the
fish.
Springfield. I'm like, I've always wanted to find a sticker of that to put on things. I love that three-eyed fish graphic.
I do love the three-eyed fish. The other thing that's cool is that this was the research hole I went down. Um they're actually uh there's this one strain of fungus of mushroom fungus
Mm-hmm.
um that is growing in Chernobyl, and it's
Is it fixing everything?
eating it's breaking down some aspect of the radioactive isotope.
Bro.
Because do you know why? The fucking aliens are among us, bro. The fucking aliens are
Oh,
already
man.
fucking here. They're already
Oh,
fucking
man.
here. They have a mycelial network in our soil. They're in our brains. They're in our blood. They make our lives work. They're the fungus. It's the mushrooms.
Don't even get me started on alien conspiracies and secret societies. That's another whole part of what has been being discussed in this whole YouTube professor's lectures I'm going down. He's positing them all as theories of how the world works and how people accumulate power, but it's super interesting. So you take it as brain candy. Good stuff, really fun.
Oh, I take it as brain candy, and also then I turn that candy into fucking fuel for my mind engine.
Brain candy for my mind engine. Wait a minute, engines don't run on candy. Unsustainable practices.
Just like Chernobyl.
Just like Chernobyl.
Brought it back.
Have you read any of the outline that I put together? Because in the very opening, I put a little section that says, Mayor, add your usual flair here. So I don't want you to be caught off guard when it comes to that and you've got nothing to say.
Great. Love it. Love it. Love it.
But you could put your natural flair there and just improvise if you'd like.
I'll ad-lib it. How bad could it possibly fucking go? It can't be worse than any of the shit we've already recorded.
20 minutes of silence on both ends of microphone. Oh man. Yeah, let's get started because I'm trying to go see
I
that
know,
new
you gotta go.
GTA movie at 7:15, but I think we've got a short one in
Wait, the
this for
new what?
Tilda.
The new what?
PTA Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh, what movie did he do?
It's called. It's like one of those sentence names, so I always say it wrong. But it's like I keep on thinking it's Little Fires Everywhere, but that's the Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington situation. It's called One Battle After Another. There we go. It's about like radical revolutionaries or something, and Leonardo DiCaprio is in it. He's married to.
Oh,
They
yeah.
both go to prison, and then he's got to protect his
They have a
daughter. I don't know.
daughter, and then
Benicio del
there's
Toro is like looking cool in it or whatever.
oh yeah. I went to go see The Roses, and I saw that.
I opted out of
the
the Roses today. I could have gone to see a double feature, but this was the last day they were playing it at the theater, and I made a hard decision to say, you know what? I'm recording a podcast with Mare. I mean, I'm not recording it until right now, but worth it. Whatever. The Roses will come back on Netflix or something sometime soon. I hope it was good. I look forward. I wanted to see it in the theater, and I missed it, but I'll catch it sometime.
It was highly enjoyable. I will also say I saw it in the theater. I was one of about 8 people, and I was also the only one laughing.
None of you have gone through a horrifying divorce before, I guess.
I know. I know. I was like, oh, so we've only all had healthy relationships in this room. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Fuck all of you guys. Fuck
all of you. Oh, you all process your emotions in a healthy, normal way.
Jesus Christ. There's something wrong with us. And that's what makes us good podcasters. Okay, let's hit the Matilda train.
Go.
Welcome, friends and chosen family, to Brother Sibling Movie, a podcast where two siblings, that's us, talk about movies we love from our childhood, and some that we may be discovering for the very first time. You know me, I'm a brother, Evan Kerna.
And I'm your sibling, Mare Morgan. And this week's film is the 1996 classic, I'll say. I have a lot of thoughts on this film, having rewatched it for the first time in a good 30 years, probably.
Totally. Yes. I feel like the personal connection section of this is going to take up a good portion
all of
the discussion.
Yeah. But we are talking about Matilda, 1996 film starring Mara Wilson as Matilda, directed by Danny DeVito. It has Rhea Perlman and Danny DeVito in it, who are hilarious.
The greats. And
what's our theme? What's our season's theme?
We're in season 3, and our theme of the season is revisionist fairy tales, and Matilda fits very nicely into a tradition of a sweet little kids who are terrorized by their horrible, horrible parents and a mean old witch, headmistress.
Yes, and somehow through the abuse or because of it, it's not really clear. Matilda gets like 11 from Stranger Things evil little kid powers.
Totally. She's like busting people's heads open.
Yeah, she's like, her nose is bleeding. She shaves her head in the middle of it. She fights a gorgon. It's crazy. No, none of that shit happens.
They should do a science fiction retelling of Matilda, though, and have stuff like that happen. I think that'd be fucking sick.
Matilda is so goddamn close to being a fucking horror movie already. It would not be like a far jump.
Totally,
it'd be pretty easy.
Matilda grows up to become Carrie.
Yes. What? Oh my god. Wait.
Whoa, guys. Yes. Whoa.
I'm here for it. I am fucking here for it. Yeah, she grows up to be like Yeah.
Fun
Don't even
fact,
know.
I don't know if it's fact, did you catch any of the little hints throughout that definitely place Matilda as occurring in New Jersey in the telling of it?
No, I didn't.
There's a
What?
very, very brief shot of a kid's lunchbox gets thrown, and then you see, like,
Oh,
welcome to Abercrombierville, New Jersey, or
oh yeah,
whatever
I
on
did
it.
see that.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's New Jersey. Okay.
it's New Jersey. Um, no, 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 no.
That's
I have a
totally
lot of
fine.
other things to see. But anyway,
We should
um,
get into this. There's
let's
limited time.
there's limited time. All right.
There was time now.
Time it was, oh what a time it was.
Whoa, wait a minute. What are you referencing?
I'm referencing, I think, Les Mis.
Wow, and I was referencing Twilight Zone, so cool. We went two different directions with that.
Here's the IMDb summary from
Yeah.
user
Woo!
Nick Reganis.
Ooh,
All right.
I like to imagine it rhymes with bananas. Nick Reganis
Ooh, Nick
loves
Reganis.
bananas.
Nick Reganis, do you like bananas? Sweet and bright Matilda Wormwood, a child of wondrous intelligence, is different from the rest of her family. Understatement of the century. Misunderstood by everyone and ignored. Understatement of the century. At home, she escapes into a world of abused. She escapes into a world of reading, honing her skills and exercising her mind so much that she develops telekinetic powers.
I never really thought about that, but that makes sense. Like, she exercises her mind by reading books so much
I
that her
guess.
brain gets super smart, and they don't spell that out, but like, oh, that's kind of an interesting interpretation theory. I like
that's
that.
kind of why. I mean, there's a whole section where it's like people only use 5% of their brain, which PS is actually a lie.
Yeah, not true.
Not true. But anyway, back to Mr. Bananas. When she is sent off to Cruncham Hall Elementary School,
The names
headed
just are incredible.
headed by the cruel, hulking headmistress, Miss Agatha Trunchbull, Matilda needs all the help she can get. But amid darkness, Matilda finds a single light in warm-hearted Miss Jennifer Honey, her first-grade teacher, who recognizes her remarkable skills, including a very distinctive talent that allows her to turn the tables on the wicked adults in her world. Will they ever see how extraordinary she is?
Thank you, Nick.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Nick
Much
Bananas.
appreciated.
I will also. So this book,
Nick Bananas is just his name now.
Nick Bananas.
Nick Bananas.
What are we gonna do with all these bananas, Nick? I'm Nick Bananas.
I don't know.
Right.
It's just my name. Why are you asking me? I know nothing about bananas.
I don't know
More
nothing
hair
about
guy.
bananas. I never even eaten a banana.
So
Okay,
yes, introduce
this
our concept
book-
of how we do. Yes.
Oh, ow. No, what I was gonna say, I just hit my elbow really hard and my hand is numb now. We do things. Oh, the other thing I was gonna say, this book is written by Roald Dahl. This is a book by Roald Dahl that I thought in my head was written
Big
in
Friendly
like
Giant.
Yeah, Big Friendly Giant, the witch,
Stuart Little.
Stuart
The Witch is the
Little,
Witch. Yeah. You all.
the witch,
Some
witches.
people know.
You
him.
know,
Yeah.
you
He
know
might be out
Roald
of
Dahl.
vogue these days for kids, but we read a lot of his books growing up.
I fucking wonder why. This book, I thought this book was like published in like maybe the 60s. It was published in 1988.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
dude. Yeah, dude.
Whoa.
You were alive for 1 year when this book came out. I was 2 years away from gracing this planet with my presence. This is like a contemporary of our life. Didn't that blow your fucking mind? I thought there were
100%. Yeah, I thought it was maybe published in 1960 something.
I thought I was like 62, maybe 65. Selkie, stop yelling at me. Just sit right here. Just sit here. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Jokey.
So Selkie wants her opinions on Matilda to be known. I like it. Right.
I like it.
Good movie.
I like it. All right. So now let's go through some we pull reviews from either LetterBoxd or IMDb. We pull some either 5-star or 10-star, and then some like 1-star or half-star depending on the platform that we're using. Evan pulled all of the reviews this week. Do you want to introduce these in any way?
Yes, so most of the LetterBoxd reviews consist of two types of commentary. It's either people saying how much better this version is than the current Netflix musical that just got released recently, or it's people screaming in all caps the lyrics to Harry Styles' song of the same name, Matilda. So
Which is
I felt like I kind of had to dig a little deep to find these that actually talk about the story of the movie, but I'm glad I found them.
ones that weren't just like bashing a newer version or talking about Harry Styles. To be fair,
I was 100% so confused. It was just like I'm just reading all of these like most recent reviews for Matilda, and it's just like Matilda, 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 Waltz, Matilda. Like, what the fuck is going on right now? And then I looked it up. And was like, oh, people are quoting a fucking Harry Styles song. I guess.
I do love that song by Harry Styles, but it's very sad. It's a very sad song.
He's a sad boy. He's a sad pop star boy who happens to be very good looking and rich and probably has everything he wants.
And runs a 6-minute 48-second mile.
Get the fuck out of here.
I will not. You can look it up. He just recently competed in a marathon, and he finished the marathon in some insane time, and it was like a personal best for him, and it equated out to being like a 6-minute and 48-second mile, which, by the way, is fucking crazy. That is fucking crazy.
I ran track and field for 1 year in high school, and I struggled to get an 8-minute mile.
And you were 17 years old.
Exactly. Yeah, so wow.
Harry Styles is our age. He's our age.
See, times are so different. I challenge Mick Jagger in his prime to run a 6-minute and whatever you said mile,
like 48 seconds or 38 seconds, something crazy, yeah,
against a 38-year-old fucking Harry Styles. Like, I don't think Mick Jagger could do it. It was like, it wasn't the MO back then. It was like, just do cocaine, eat peppers, fuck bitches, make music.
Mick Jagger would fucking fall apart like Howl's Castle in the Miyazaki movie Howl's Moving Castle, as like the chicken platform is walking and just like gears and shit are falling off and like clattering down. Like, that's what would happen to Mick Jagger at like 25 if he tried to raise Harry Styles now.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the reviews.
All right. I put it for the 5 stars to be first and the 1 stars to be next. Great. But what do you think? Should we? Yeah, let's do 5 stars first. I think that's appropriate.
All right. Okay. Do you want to switch it off? Do you want to read all of them? What do you want to do?
Yeah, let's switch it off. This will be fun. I'll do the first one and then you do the second. We'll just kind of go back and forth. This is a 5-star review from Cinephila. No capital letters. I love the man who crawled out of a leather couch butt naked on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is also the man who directed this timeless classic. I hope Danny DeVito is proud of his legacy, because I sure am.
Correct.
For all my It's Always Sunny fans out there, I felt like that would be a good one to open it up.
I love that. Okay, this is by user P3NYO. Pinio. P3Nios.
I was like Pathronio? I don't know.
Pathronio? Oh, Pathronio. They say altered brain chemistry, comfortable and nostalgic.
And this becomes a theme I recognize. Like, people just love the nostalgic and comfortable quality of this movie. You'll see
Yes.
there's a couple other that mention it.
Yeah.
Rewatched by Tom. I absolutely adore this movie. I think it's beautiful. The visuals, sound, lighting, costumes, and dialogue are so fitting, and I have no notes. Such a nostalgic film. I quote so much of this in day-to-day life. 5 stars. Love, love, love.
Hell yes. Watched by Manar, M-A-N-R. One of the best movies ever made. Truly a masterpiece. One of a kind. Such a nostalgic, comforting film. It's like a warm hug. What kind of hugs have you gotten, Manar?
And
Christ!
here's a 4.5-star review just because I thought it was kind of fun. This film is so unrealistic. At one point, Danny Vito points to himself and explicitly states, "I'm big." Nobody believing that. The girl with telekinesis, sure, maybe, but I don't appreciate being blatantly lied to. Humdrum face.
Fuck yes. Oh my god. I love that.
Great
All right,
points,
now
all.
let's go to some 1 stars. This was rewatched by
Oh, and
iSure22. Yeah, go ahead.
and also, just to be clear, just so all of these users don't get mad at me, these are actually half-star reviews. Half star is the lowest rating you can give on LetterBoxd. So I
Oh
just
yeah,
searched
the
lowest, and these were the lowest. So
okay. iSure22 said, IDKY, but I hate everything about this movie. Why are her parents so mean? It makes me sad. Accurate and correct assessment. Yep.
Watched by Walters, or maybe D. Walters. Childhood nightmare. That's all they say. That's all they got.
And watched by Agatha Z Power. Just says trauma film. Hell yeah.
Woo!
Woo!
So yeah, wide breadth of
It's quite
takeaways of Matilda.
it's quite a breadth, and so just as a peek behind the curtain, when we were picking movies for revisionist fairy tales, and we were, these are as we've talked about on every podcast we've ever done, especially in this season. Like, these are the kind of movies that Evan and I always really like. Things like Big Fish, Edward Scissorhands. These kind of like reimagined,
Yeah,
whimsical fairy tales.
fantastical. Yeah, whimsical fairy
Yeah,
tales, sometimes featuring kids, sometimes featuring
yeah.
childlike wonder at the worlds. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all awesome. And so when we were talking about it, I think I suggested Matilda because I was like, "Oh, Matilda's actually kind of like a modern day fairy tale because she has like kind of magical powers, and there's like an evil witch and a good witch, and and
Yeah.
there's kind of this
Mhm.
whole there's a lot of the structure of a fairy tale within Matilda." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I
Very,
remember."
very, very like Hansel and Gretel esque parents who are
Yes.
just like, fuck these kids, they can
Fuck
die.
these kids.
Well, this one kid specifically can go suck it.
Yeah.
No
Uh,
reason other than just like, we're horrible people.
Literally no reason. So and I was like, "Yeah, like I think we should do this," and everyone was like, "Yeah, awesome." And like I said, I haven't seen this movie probably since 1998, which is about 25 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
28 years ago. Um, woo! What a rewatch experience.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I feel like most of the time when I watch kids movies that are from the 80s, I
Mm-hmm.
usually have some version of why the fuck was this intended for children? Like, Gremlins is a great example. Why the fuck is Gremlins a kids movie? It's not a kids movie. Um,
Is this
but
considered a kids movie?
I feel like Gremlins was watched by a lot of children in the 80s. I don't know if it was
Sure.
intended to be a children's movie, but I think that's what happened. Um,
Sure.
and like, and I and I had this idea of like, but by the 90s, we'd gotten a bit better. No, we fucking hadn't. No, we fucking hadn't. No. Um,
There was maybe slightly less grotesque imagery, but the psychological aspects were
I
still going strong.
I think yeah, no, the psychological toll of Matilda is pretty high, I think. And I actually, as I was watching it, I realized where some of my like deep-seated like food aversions come from is
Oh
from
man,
this movie.
like no
It's
chocolate cake
I
ever.
I literally had to fast forward through that scene
Oh
because
wow.
I couldn't it was making me so, like, physically it was making me feel so, like, physically sick and psychologically uncomfortable that I had to
Oh
fast
my
forward
god.
through it.
Oh
I couldn't do
no.
it. I couldn't
Oh
do
my
it.
god.
I know,
Well,
I was like, "What the fuck?"
well, there you go. That's an
So you know
experience.
what? We keep learning about ourselves. Aren't we
This
all
is
just like
true.
little onions? Um, and so yeah, it's holy shit though. I was even talking to Justin, my housemate, and I was like, fuck man, I just rewatched Matilda. Have you seen Matilda recently? He was like, yeah, my wife and I watched it with our kids. That movie's really fucked up. I was like, it's really fucked up. He was like, because
uh, all things
he's
that I love it for, but yeah, maybe
oh no
not for
no.
like 6 year
This is
olds.
this is not a dig against the film. This is
Right.
just saying
Yeah.
maybe not for kids, you
Yes.
know? Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, because he's of an age, he's 40, I mean, he's 42, so he's a little bit older, but
Hmm.
still, he was like, "Yeah, I remember it being like a fun kids movie." And I was like, "I did too. What the fuck?" Um,
Well, I think we should get into that a little bit more about from our experiences of it from childhood. But first, should we hear a word from our sponsors?
fuck yeah, give us money.
Yeah! We'll be right back with more Brother Sibling Movie.
All right, so to start out for today's sponsor, I just want to say a quick disclaimer. This one is from a foreign company, an overseas company, and there may have been some mistranslations in the copy, but we will be reading it as they sent it. So apologies, but here we go. Air tasting bad today? Try air spray is a thing you spray in the air to make it taste and smell better. Oh no, I can't do this. Wait, it also make it so you can eat the air? What? Hungry? Air spray! Eat the air! It's so tasty good! Lemon, lime, grapefruit, and ooh, banana! All flavors you can spray to make the air edible. What, you ask? I breathe the air. How do I eat and breathe at same time? Won't we suffocate? Don't ask questions. Munch, munch, munch. You can eat air. We don't care. Air spray.
Thank you,
Evan,
Airspray, for
are you
sponsoring.
okay? Are
Thank you for.
you okay?
Why are you asking me? Airspray, the
Sorry.
sponsor,
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have.
is the
It's just that
questionable party here.
I know airspray is the questionable party, but I just we you were the one that you usually compile the ad reads. And you
Right?
get them
Yeah.
in the email first, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
send them over to me. And so I was just like, why are we accepting airspray's money? But
Hey,
also
man,
airspray,
things
I
are.
love your idea. I love your product. It's a disruptive idea. I think it's really
Yeah,
powerful.
it's a disruptive industry. Yeah.
It is a disruptive industry. I would love
Hmm.
to make air edible. It would solve a lot of problems,
Who
you know?
has not thought we should make money off of air? And the best way to do that is to make the air consumable to your body in a way that is not just
Well, because
breathing.
I was gonna say there's no other way to do that currently. There's no
Right.
other way that your body can like intake air. and utilize it in any way, like at present.
Yeah.
And so,
But I
you
like
know,
what they're
I
they're
like where
driving
they're
at,
at.
because I think, like, I mean, this could solve world hunger. I mean, imagine if you could
No,
make
that's what I'm
the
saying.
air edible.
Yeah,
It's
that's
great.
what I'm saying.
So
It's
so air
incredible.
spray, keep it up, and I hope
Thank
we
you.
didn't mistranslate it and totally
Yeah,
misunderstand the purpose or intent of your product. But at current, we
pretty
believe it is a
sure.
spray can that you turns the air around you into something you can eat in different flavors.
That's our
So
current understanding, and honestly, revolutionary idea. Way to go.
absolutely, yes.
Munch, munch, munch. All right, let's fucking go. All right, I need to start out with the best story about Marta Kerna that has to do with Matilda. Are you fucking
Yes.
ready? All
Yes.
right.
I think this will cover both Mare and I's early connection to the movie
Yeah.
Matilda. I don't remember
It,
when I saw it first, but it was a staple of our childhood.
yeah, we saw it many times.
And importantly, it was popular among elementary school children of the year 1990.
This came out in
7 or 8 or
1996.
so.
This
Mm-hmm.
came out in 1996 when I was 6 years old and in first grade. In 1997, when I was in second grade, that's right. Evan and I obviously were homeschooled. I didn't have any friends, and I thought I want friends who are not my brother. As much as I love him,
Me
I would like,
either. Yeah.
yeah, I would like maybe other friends. And
Healthy.
so
Healthy.
a healthy desire. So our mother was kind enough to lead a Girl Scout troop at our local like elementary school for the other
Took it
kids.
upon herself to start a troop of brownies.
Yes, start a brownie troop, and we were all 7 years old. It was really cute and really sweet,
It was very
and
adorable and cute. So many
and
bird watching expeditions.
I wish we went fucking bird watching. Our mom was like, let's try on hats and not go camping. How do we not go camping?
Couldn't be avoided.
Our mom is a beautiful woman. She's 5'10". She's always had very long dark hair
Frequently like to put her hair up in a bun.
and exclusively wears her hair in a bun. Like a bun on the top of her, on the crown of her head. Any picture of her from the last, and I'm not shitting you, 45 years, her hair is dark, it's up, it's in a bun. A very nice woman. See, aforementioned, started a Girl Scout troop so her child could have friends. Is a very sweet woman.
Yeah.
That's what our mom looks like. She is
Mm-hmm.
tall and she has very dark hair that was worn in a bun.
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
mm-hmm.
Now, Matilda, this film has just come out. Every single child on the planet has seen this movie in America.
Yeah.
My mother comes in, and of course, like, I saw Matilda and I was like, fuck her, she's so, like, Miss Trunchbull, so mean.
Yeah.
I know I don't associate Miss Trunchbull with my mother.
Mother, right.
Right? Every single little girl in this Girl Scout troop freaks the fuck out.
Terrified.
Terrified. Absolutely shitting themselves, right? Because
Oh,
our mom
man.
comes in and she's like, hi girls, it's really nice to meet you. My name is Marta. And all these little girls are just like,
all these kids are like, you're gonna like the bounty troop you're part of now. Little girls get eaten as brownies. Ha! That's what they hear, not what our mom says.
Not what our mom says. And then the next week, our mom goes in, and some of the girls are there with their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And our mom goes up and and like asks some of the other moms, like, hey, thank you. I'm so happy that you came back, and thanks for being here. Um, hey, like last week, I don't know, did I do anything that like scared
I
your
was
daughter?
I was getting
Or
some resistance from the girls. I don't understand.
yeah, like I just don't quite understand, and like I really tried for it to be fun, but if it whatever. And literally all of the moms were like, oh,
They
we
looked at the
walked
situation and were like, aha, I see.
and genuinely were like, all of our kids came home and said that Miss Trunchbull is our Girl Scout troop leader. And we couldn't figure out how that's possible. And
uh,
like, and so they were like, I'll go with you next to the next meeting and we'll just see. And of
yeah,
course, they met our mom and we're like, "Oh, you're a perfectly lovely woman and are like
yeah,
really kind and lovely.
yeah.
It's just that you look." But
And
after
children are
that,
stupid idiots who judge people off of their appearances and not off of the
yes.
content of their character.
Yes, but for the next couple of meetings, I remember our mom put her hair down and she wore
Right.
her hair low, like she wore her hair down or like in a low
Totally.
ponytail or something because she was just like, "Oh my god, I don't want to freak these poor kids out." Because of course she's seen Matilda also and is like,
Yeah.
"Oh, like the worst, horrible, most abusive
There's
character."
a scene. There's a scene in this movie. The
Oh my
first scene you
god.
see her where she picks up a little girl by the pigtails and
Dye her
flings
hair.
her by her hair and like whirls her
Shot
around
put
and
her.
flings her over a fence.
Yeah, a human child. She
Yeah.
does that too. And then
Oh, this movie's
she
so
puts
great.
children then she puts children in the chokey chokey. That's right.
Which is an Iron Maiden.
It is an Iron Maiden with the most comically long nails sticking out of it that you have ever seen in your life. And it's like
Yeah.
oh, you might be in there for the whole day. And I'm like, what the fuck? And apparently, and Miss Trunchbull can do literally whatever she wants to these kids.
Yeah.
Okay? I shit you not. She can do anything that she wants.
Yeah.
Physical, emotional, psychological, doesn't matter. She can do whatever
Yeah.
the fuck she wants.
There's clearly
You
no
know,
board of education
well,
overseeing anything in the.
do you know why?
Maybe this is a documentary about current times. No, why?
No. Here's why she's able to get away from it with it. Because at one point in the film, Matilda asks the kids, "Well, don't you tell your parents?" And the kids all say, "Yeah, but they don't believe me."
Right. Because who
And
is going to believe their kids when they say our principal flung a girl over the fence by her pigtails?
that's fair. I understand it. However, if I'm a parent, I feel like I'd at least go. I wouldn't go all like fucking satanic panic. They're flushing us down toilets. It's crazy. Oh,
Hmm.
da 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 da. I
Yeah.
would go. Maybe I'll just check in.
Right. Maybe I'll
Just
go to the school and
maybe I'll go to
find
the school
out.
that looks like an abandoned asbestos factory. Um,
And I
and
will, yeah, and I'll say that, like, I do kind of, there's, I, both of us grew up in very privileged upbringings. Like, I don't
absolutely,
know the world that Roald Dahl, like, existed in. Like,
I
I
don't.
read,
I don't
I
want
read
to
his,
really.
no, I read his autobiography, Boy, which talks about the real version of stuff like this. Like the nuns at the Catholic school, like you know beating with a ruler when you acted out,
I
like headmisters in
Yes,
ROTC camps that like punched you in the back of the head when you acted up, stuff like that.
yes.
So like
I
so it's intriguing to me, this world that I'm very lucky to not know anything of, but that many kids have existed in, where like the adults in your world are out to get you. They
Yes.
actually are evil pricks, and they actively hate the fact that you exist, you know? Like, that is experience that people have. And I
Absolutely.
enjoy kind of, you know, from the safe distance of a movie, experiencing that and seeing what it's like. And especially to have it be from this point of view of a kid who is really smart and
Yes.
figures out anarchic ways to get back at the adults. Like, it's a
Yes.
very empowering kids movie, especially I'm sure for ones who are kind of like have this childhood experience of like being horrifyingly traumatized by adults in their life.
And neglected and not listened to and not paid attention to. No, I agree. I think it's an interesting I could tell, you could kind of tell watching it. I was like, "Oh, Mr. Doll, you are working out one to several demons here." Because
Oh man.
like, that's the thing. There are absolutely children that have the experience of no adult will believe them and no adult will trust them, and it's horrible, and you shouldn't do that to kids.
Mm-mm.
Period. Like, at all. That's why, um, you know, hopefully in a normal functioning government, there are perhaps safety nets for those
Right.
types of things, right? You have multiple, you're required to go to school and you have other responsible adults that are hopefully engaging in helping the child and all of
Yes.
these things. Also,
We
are there
hope
no
that
other
there are
teachers at the school? Are there no other
yeah.
teachers?
It's just
No other
Trunchbull
adults?
and Miss Honey. That's it. That's all.
That's it? Only teachers, only adults.
I suspect that somebody who was not horrifyingly traumatized by Miss Trunchbull as a child would look at the working conditions and be like, "This job sucks," and like leave.
And also, so that's the other interesting thing that I was thinking about is because I was like, oh, not only is this about children being traumatized and like
Mm-hmm.
children being abused and children being neglected and not listened to and not believed, it's also about adults like Miss Honey who
Mm-hmm.
had that happen to her as a kid as well,
Yeah.
and like the ramifications of that. And I was like, and that is called the cycle of abuse. Because I was
So
like,
true.
ma'am, why do you still fucking work at this school? Like, there's a reason what the fuck are you doing? Um, but yeah, it's a also okay. Let's talk for 2 seconds about Danny DeVito and his wife
I was
Rhea
just about to
Perlman.
say, yeah, let's talk about the parents and their
Okay,
incredible contribution to this movie. Oh, also
okay.
the son, I believe, is the kid at the beginning of Jurassic Park who's like, dinosaurs were birds.
Oh
That's
yeah,
not very scary. And then Sam Neill's like, "I'll cut your belly open," and he's like, "Ah, I'll traumatize your
because
life."
everybody had it out for kids in the fucking 90s. Okay,
Especially fat boys with striped shirts.
especially.
It was a different time, but yes, Danny
Yes.
DeVito, Rhea Perlman, and I will look
Yes.
up that kid's name so I
So
don't just
Danny
call
DeVito
him.
directed this and was a producer on this film, and his real life wife of like 50 something years, Rhea
Mm-hmm.
Perlman, who
Yes,
is an absolute legend, both of them are icons,
yes.
play Matilda's parents, and they are such unrepentant pieces of shit. It's
Oh my god,
incredible.
they're a horrifying as
They are
people. The characters, I mean,
the
obviously.
characters. The characters. Oops,
Yeah.
hit my mic. The characters are awful. Also, both when I was a child and me at 35 watching this, did I go, your house is so fucking gaudy. I love it. Everything about this home. It's trash. It's like fucking Long Island trash. It's
Yeah.
so gross. It's like everything's leopard print and everything's got tassels on it and like it's gold and it's rococo because we're fancy. Like that's what's going on. And
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm in love. And like all of Rhea Perlman's outfits, I was just like, how do I
How do I get these?
acquire?
Give
How
me
do I
more.
acquire this? They are so funny, but they are such like hilarious pieces of shit, and you really fucking hate them. Like I was just like, seriously, guys, like
No, they look like they ought to be in yeah, they have a real Miami, not even Miami, like northern Florida look to them.
oh my god, they're like the people that are like, let's go to the beach in Gainesville, and you're
Yeah.
like, that's inland. What are you talking about? And they just are like going to the lake.
Ooh, I must apologize to our viewers. Brian Levinson is the actor's name who plays the brother, and I guess he wasn't the kid in Jurassic Park. He was
Oh,
in a number of other movies at the time. I guess I'm just equating a kid with another kid that looked like him. Anyway,
yeah.
but yeah, Danny DeVito, Rhea Perlman. Uh,
Oh,
I mean,
comedy gold.
as far as comedy actors, yeah, just great. And yeah, it's
Comedy
really,
gold.
it's always,
Horrifying.
yeah.
Horrifying.
Considering the other things that Danny DeVito has done with his career and put his money and clout behind as a producer as well as a director, Matilda is such an interesting choice,
It
and I to
yes.
this day wonder what made him want to make it. Like it's very
I
curious, you know?
I know. I didn't look too deep into that side of it because he also like Danny DeVito also narrates it like as
Yeah.
kind of the
Mhm.
storybook, right? Um and I don't actually know. I didn't look that up
Yeah.
because I was napping before we started
And
but
apparently he was very nice and sweet to Mara Wilson and all of the children actors on set.
I
Obviously, you
I
can't
mean
imagine he would be a horrifying creep or whatever in real life. He's clearly making a
I
movie where the point is these people are
yes.
bad.
I was thinking about that. The actress who plays Miss Trunchbull is like a very well-known British actress.
Mhm.
She's also the slightly mean nun in Call the Midwife, which
Oh, cool.
if you watch the BBC, she's on Call the Midwife, and she's the slightly mean one, and I can't remember the sister's name.
Yeah.
Um, but I was thinking about that too, and I was like, oh my god, like she either just had to like not ever talk to the kids, not in character, or like had to be the kindest,
Right.
sweetest person. Because I was
Yeah.
like,
You're not
also,
allowed to have any bad days on this movie.
no, because like, bro, like you're traumatizing these kids. I don't care if it's just acting. Like their brains aren't developed. They don't
Yeah.
really know the difference.
Yeah.
Um, but and Mara Wilson, by the way,
Yes.
wowzers,
Oh,
what an
another
incredible actress.
classic 90s
Uh,
actress, child actress.
every kids movie she was in, like she was so fun. She was so great. Um, just wonderful in this movie. Really carried the whole fucking thing.
Mhm.
And I think she's your age. She's born in 1987, and so she was like maybe 8 when this movie filmed,
Yeah.
maybe
That sounds about
7,
right. Yeah.
8 when it filmed, but like not 6 like Matilda is in the movie, but like a young kid, like a really young kid, and she man, hats off, Ms. Wilson. You crushed it. It's an incredible thing.
Uh, Also interesting, just because maybe before we were recording, you were telling me that you went to go see The Roses. Um,
I did.
Turns out Danny DeVito actually directed in 1989, before Matilda, directed a version of War of the Roses from
No
1989.
shit. He
How about
directed
that?
it? No
He's
fucking
got
shit.
he's got more directing credits than I thought. He's got a lot of. He started directing. Well, he didn't start directing, maybe, but uh, Danny DeVito is famously on the TV series Taxi from the early '80s. He directed
Yeah.
some episodes of Taxi.
Oh no
Uh,
shit.
and he did some TV shorts, and then he did and then Throw Mama from the Train. I didn't realize
Okay,
he
yeah.
directed that.
I didn't realize
Uh,
he directed that either.
yeah, War of the
Wow.
Roses,
So
a movie
going back
about
a good ways.
yeah, he started directing movies, feature films in '87, and then he directed in 1992. He directed Hoffa, a movie about Jimmy Hoffa, and then he did
What?
Matilda. No.
You know
And then, of
what?
course, Death to Smoochie, which is, wow. We'll
Oh,
have to do Death to Smoochie some other
Death.
time when we really want to be freaked out.
We're gonna have to do like a fucking acid trip season, and do
Yeah.
Death to Snucci in just like a
Oh,
what?
man. Yeah.
Um, Danny
Yeah. Who
DeVito
said this
seems
was okay?
who? Um, another movie that I saw as a kid that I should not have seen as a kid.
Yes.
But
Excuse me.
Danny DeVito seems like a very interesting person.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and seems like genuinely just like a good like East Coast kind of dude. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
um,
He seems like he
and it,
got his acting chops like the real way, you know? Somebody who looks like
yeah,
Danny DeVito has to really fucking fight to get in front of the camera. You know? He's
yeah,
like
yeah. He's an amazing
uh,
actor. Rhea Perlman as well is just like an absolutely incredible actor.
yeah.
Very funny. She was great in Barbie. She was in
Oh
Barbie.
yeah, she's whatever her name is,
She was
Eleanor,
the like
Estelle,
inventor
whatever.
of Barbie. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
anyway, so yeah, the cast of this film is great. Um, and like, okay, can I just want to circle back to the whole like adults systemically are failing children this whole film.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm. Correct.
So when Matilda is 4 years old, 4 years old, she decides to go to the library by herself.
Mhm. Mhm.
At no point do any of the adults on the street go, "Hey, sweetie, where's your parents?
Right.
Hi, honey, you are very small because you're 4."
Uh
And then she makes it to the library, PS, without being like abducted
yeah.
multiple times. Gets there, and the librarian looks at her, a single 4-year-old child by herself, and says, "The children's books are over there." Not, "Go have a seat, sweetie. I have to call some people."
Right. What is your name and what are you doing here?
"What is your name? Where are your parents? How did you get here? Do you need some water? Hey, honey, why don't you sit here? I'm going to call a nice lady who's going to come and talk to you, okay?"
We used to have more freedom in this country, damn it. Kids could just walk around on the streets and learn for themselves. God damn it.
That is how John Wayne Gacy got victims. Jesus fucking Christ. No. Like, it
Exactly.
is It is insane. Also, then when Matilda is like, "I'm 6.5." "No, you're not. You're 4." And she's like, "I'm 6.5." Very strongly. And they're like, "Why aren't you in school?" And she's like, "I've been asking you to send me to school."
Yeah.
Wha- Like, she is like the
I read
only.
at a college level. I make my own food every day. I dress myself. Like, I've basically got everything under control, you
Like, she
guys.
could fucking be emancipated at
Right.
6. Like,
Yeah.
she's reading Moby Dick, the most impenetrable novel ever written.
I do think it goes like Ulysses Moby Dick.
Yeah, yeah, Ulysses doesn't have like any fucking punctuation. That shit's very hard to read. Um
I tried. I'll try again one day. I got like 2 pages in. I was like, life is too short. Nah.
Take that, James Joyce, you fucking bitch!
Nah. I'm not. If I'm not smart enough for this, that's fine. I don't want to fucking. I'm not ready.
You
I
know
don't
what?
want to.
You know what the great thing is? When I was in high school, I endeavored this whole thing of like reading all of like these great books and and all of this stuff, and that
Much like Matilda.
much like Matilda. But I would like read Shakespeare plays and I would read like, Umberto Eco and all,
Gay.
but I would read all of these books that were like beautiful and incredible and I really, really loved. I was
Mhm.
also like 14, 15 at the time.
Right.
Um, and you know what's great is
What?
that I would like slog through that shit because I was like, I just must be too young and I'm not getting it. Now, me, I pick up a book, 2, 3 pages in, I'm like, I don't fucking get this. I go, I'm good at other shit. It's fine. Like,
That's called maturing.
that is called being mature. That is called maturing as an adult. Um,
Yeah. Just be like, I don't have time for this shit. I don't want to feel stupid for this long. Like, this is
I'm
a
like
commitment.
I have to look up every other fucking word. Like, nah, I'm good. It's fine.
When
But
I
yeah,
was
okay.
20, when I was like 24 and I had taken multiple years of college Spanish at that point, I was like, I'm going to read Don Quixote in Spanish. I
What
got
the
like
fuck?
I got
You
like
get like
half a chapter in and I was like, nah, I'm not doing that.
I can't do.
No, absolutely not. I was like, I try to make reading enjoyable, like,
Yeah, there's a certain part where it's like this is a leisure activity. Yeah, the oh man,
but
there
reading is great, and I do think that
reading
that is
is
the thing that
wonderful.
Matilda like gets across in its story. Like adults,
Absolutely.
adults can be stupid, evil shitheads. Reading is good. Um, Anarchy all the way. Viva
Okay,
Revolucion, Matilda.
yes, I definitely was like, yes, reading for escapism and reading to envision a better life for yourself and reading as a means of enrichment are all
Mhm.
very important and like reading
Yeah,
is a big deal.
yeah.
Um and also I was like, you know, for future listeners, you can just check the release date and then see who the current administration of the United States is and make your own conclusions about what I'm about to say because these episodes we try to make them evergreen. What I will say though is that I did have this thought where I was like, "Oh right, if you're just a fucking menace, if you're just a little chaos monster and you get
Hmm.
all your other fucking chaos monster friends together, who knows what will happen to
Totally.
horrible authoritarian shithead people that are in charge
Head,
and think that
head,
they know better.
headmistresses. Yes. Um,
Headmistresses, excuse me,
yeah.
headmistresses.
Hell yeah. Um, And I do really enjoy that it even gives you the fairy tale ending of like a somewhat happily
Yeah,
ever after where she's like, she gets adopted by the nice Miss Honey, who is
yeah,
like the older version of her, who's like a very
yep,
sweet, kind, caring person who wants kids to learn things.
yeah, and
Um,
wants to be a nice person and wants to do good things in the world. And um,
yeah. This
also,
movie,
wait, sorry, go ahead.
yes, you go.
I was also just gonna say the reason that Matilda gets adopted is because Danny DeVito is a used car salesman who
Oh,
is
yeah.
engaging in legally questionable activities, and
The
fucking
FBI
Paul
is
Rubens.
after him. Yeah.
The FBI is after him, and fucking Paul Rubens is one of the FBI agents.
Yes.
I was like,
That was
are you fucking
cool.
kidding me? Totally
AKA
forgot.
AKA Pee Wee Herman for those of you that
Totally
don't
forgot.
know.
Totally forgot that
Uh
he was in this movie. Fully
yeah.
forgot.
And some
So
other
funny.
guy who was always typecast as a policeman or whatever. Um yeah, that's Matilda. I
I know
hope this
you gotta
isn't too
run.
harsh of a transition, but I gotta wrap this up in the next 10 minutes or
Yeah.
so.
All
But
right.
I love this movie. Like I think it's
It's
great.
very
It's such a
fun.
it's such a throwback that our childhood specifically. It's got such a look to it. The oh and like it kind of ingrained this classic scene in my head of like, well, to me, like the moments where Matilda is alone. There's the Rusted Roots song that got popular
Oh
because of
yeah,
this movie
baby.
that occurs during the montage of her learning how to basically take care of herself because her parents won't do it.
Yep.
And then another great scene set to an old like Motown classic of her basically getting her powers and like all of like swishing in kind of like
Yep.
a sort of sword in the stone esque like
Yeah.
way, like all of the
Like
items
cards
in the
and chips
household kind
and
of
yeah,
flying
or like
around, and
it's
those
very
ones
fun.
stick with me. It reminded me of this thing that movies, I won't say that they never do it anymore, but that popular movies made in Hollywood used to do more often, which was take their time. You know, there's there's
Yeah.
there's room in this movie to breathe sometimes. Like shots will linger kind of long, and I like that. The movie isn't trying to hit you with every next beat. It lets you live in uh the ephemera, the
Yeah.
mise scene, if you will, for a while. And I like it when they. Yes, sorry, I went to film school.
No, but
But
it
yeah,
does.
I
It,
like
it
that.
it lets you sit in it a little bit
Yeah,
in the good and the bad.
yeah. And there's some
And it's
freaky shit
fun.
that happens to these kids, which is so satisfying when they rise up and take over the fucking country. I mean, school at the
I
end.
mean school from the authoritarian dictatorship. I mean the
Yeah.
headmistress. Yeah, no, it's very fun. I really enjoyed rewatching it. Um I will also say, as I said again, it is like one step away from being a fucking full-on horror movie, and I wanna see that version. I wanna
Yeah,
see that version. I wanna see
me
the, like
too.
I wanna see the, like, Ari Aster hereditary version of
Of
Matilda.
Matilda. Oh man, I'm
Yes,
not ready for that, but yes, make it
I know.
happen.
Alright, shall we do a little thing that we like to call
Tambok na siksi. Tambok na siksi.
vibe check? It's time for vibe check.
Yes, not time for thoughts and takeaways. That's cool. I'll
Fuck!
go right into vibe
Fuck!
check.
Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch!
That was us rewinding the vibe check, but we'll come back to it. I've got 3
Uh,
paragraphs of prepared
hey,
thoughts. Shall I read them?
editor Evan, can you just make a note to cut that out, please? Thank you.
I think I'm keeping it in because it's funnier that way.
Okay, then can you make a note to cut out me asking you to cut it out? Thanks.
Perfect. Yes. Noted doubly.
Thank you.
This is Editor Evan. I didn't do that. Ha, ha, ha. Alright, on with the pod.
Here's my thoughts and takeaways, I guess, if I should start. Matilda is a sweet, sweet movie. Is there really more to say? Growing up, Roald Dahl books always scared me because his experience of childhood was so foreign to mine. I was not surrounded by evil adults trying to snatch my childhood away from me at every moment, and I'm happy to have lived inside of that privilege. This movie holds a special place for me, too, because it's directed by Danny DeVito, which is really just something. I guess it's just nice to know that he had this inside of him, especially since he also has made more insane nightmare fuel with the crazy movie Death to Smoochie, which is not for kids, despite being about a children's television star.
It's like what would happen if you fucked Barney?
Right, exactly. Uh, a kid with telekinetic powers is such a wonderful wish fulfillment fantasy for a child. I can't believe there aren't more stories like these. Matilda sees justice where others see oppression. What a beautiful anarchic idea. You as a kid have the right and the power to punish adults for doing evil, gross and idiotic things. We know what is right in our hearts, and so does Matilda. Viva la revolucion, Matilda.
Viva la revolucion. I love it. Fuck yeah. All right. I have very similar thoughts and takeaways. Did I write all of them down? No, I didn't. Let's do a quick recap of my thoughts and takeaways.
Perfect.
So yeah, like most kids of the 90s, you know, Matilda is a very nostalgic film for me. It was a movie that I watched all through my childhood. And was sort of even though, you know, Evan and I are very lucky and I don't want to say privileged because it should be expected that children are not abused
Right, there
and
you go. Maybe
neglected.
privilege was the wrong word, but yes.
But
Yeah.
you know, we were not surrounded by adults that were behaving in the way that these adults were, which was like very neglectful and abusive, which is very wonderful and great and what all children should experience. But I think even within that, Matilda provided a level of wish fulfillment that kids, I think, from all kinds of backgrounds can relate to.
Yeah.
It's about a kid having power and agency.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that I certainly, as a child, related to of like, you just don't really have power and agency when you're a kid.
And
Um, and
sometimes you know better than the other people
and
around you.
and that's what I was gonna say is that sometimes you do actually know better, and it would be, you know, being believed is important
Yeah.
in those instances. And I think just in general, you know, as a fellow nerdy, precocious child, I certainly enjoyed Matilda as a character quite a bit.
Yeah.
Um, and it's it's crazy to watch it now
Mm-hmm.
through the lens of like a grown millennial adult who has like gone to therapy and like read bell hooks and like all of
Right.
this shit where I'm like, oh fuck,
I'm
like
doing the work.
I'm doing the work, and this is just like a film about a story about people who have not done the work.
Right.
Um, but Matilda is, and she's rewriting her own story, and again is harnessing her agency and her power for the betterment not just of herself and her life, but for the betterment of others.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is a really powerful message that this film puts forth of even if you're small and even if people don't take you seriously, you do still have power and your voice still matters.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's a really empowering message for a kid to have. So I 10 out of 10. I think you should rewatch Matilda, give it a rewatch. You know,
Yeah,
Hail
agreed. It's
Satan,
fun.
Viva la Revolucion. Fucking
Right.
absolutely. Like, let's fucking do this.
Totally. Oh
Yeah.
man. Hell yeah.
No, it's great. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful film. It's very, very fun. Give it a watch.
Is it now time for
Tambok na tiksi. Tambok na tiksi.
Matilda? Vibe check. Time for vibe check. Vibe check. Cha-cha-cha. Good vibes,
If I
dude.
do it
I
this
love it.
way, if I do it this way, is the C backwards for
No,
you?
the C's right, but the C is first, so it's CV. So it has to be the other. Yeah, vibe check. Time for vibe check. Nice.
Fucking
Yeah, dude.
vibes.
Good
Okay,
vibes.
wait.
Yeah.
Hold on. Evan and I don't. For those of you who are here for the first time, thank you so much for listening. Blah, 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 blah. We don't rate things on a star-based system or a number-based system. We do things based on two things and two things only, and that is how is the story and how are the vibes. Evan, how are the vibes? Boom.
Vibes, great. Love it. Fucking sweet ass vibes. Merrick, go.
Fucking loved it. Sick vibe. Fuck yeah. Brother. Yeah. Yes. Let's go. Yeah, it was great. It's fucking awesome vibes. Awesome story. It's
Yeah.
very fun. It's fun
Yeah, I'm
across
down.
the board.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of movies with this kind of vibe in them. Like if bad, horrible, weird things are happening to people in a movie, it's usually someone who is older, or if it is happening to a kid, it's like hereditary and it's like horrifying. This is like
And you're kind of
light.
signed
This
up
is
for
like
it.
right. This is like lightheartedly fairy tale dramatic, which is like not a vibe you get much these days. And also, but with the kind of like fairy tale ending of like good things happening to
Yeah, good things come out of it, and like
our heroine, our protagonist.
yeah, good. You know, the good guys win and the bad guys lose.
That's right. Yeah.
Isn't that a fairy tale?
All
All right. Evan has to get out of here. So let's just run through it really quick. You can find us on social media. You know all the things. Listen to all the other episodes. Also, they're all tagged in the Spotify description. That's it. Evan, I love you so much. Go enjoy. Nothing happens without the blood, or whatever the fuck the movie is that you're watching.
I can't wait to make nothing happen without the blood. I'm gonna write that tomorrow. I'm gonna write that screenplay.
Please do. I would like to be listed as a co-writer.
Yeah. Mayor gave the most important part, which was the title.
Nothing happens without the blood.
Oh man! All right.
It's a follow-up. It's a sequel to Carrie.
That's right. Yeah. I love you so much. Thank you for chatting with me about Matilda. Let's do it again next week.
Anytime. All right. Love you. Bye.
And wait, what do you have to tell me?
Wait, Evan.
Yes.
Go watch a movie with your sibling.
You go watch a movie with your sibling, Mare.
I fucking would if you lived here, but you don't, bitch.
I don't. Maybe next year we'll see.